Fuck. Don't mind if I wank a little bit, do you? Like I normally do. Therapy session today. My back. It's haunted me since my injury. 22 years old. And the thing about it is, when I was younger, it would literally paralyze me, and I would be crawling to the bathroom on my hands and knees, and a week later I'd be out playing frisbee. So no one believes you have a back problem. Well, they don't know what spasms are, and the VA wouldn't do an MRI to figure out that, oh, well, we see you have a piece of disc that is just almost touching your sciatic nerve. What it said was impinging directly, but that wasn't true because it didn't affect me all the time. Weird move. The worst one was I was combing my hair in the mirror. That was it. The spot that's bothering me now in my thoracic and the T areas. Just combing my hair when I had hair. Big split down the middle, you know what I mean? Combed my hair. And I had to cough, and I went, and I coughed. I literally just hit the ground. Literally, just bam, just like that. Marilyn said I was white as a sheet. She could tell I was in shock. That was 92 days on the floor until the ambulance came to get me to take me to the hospital. But because of the way the condos were, the stairs, like that, they couldn't get the fucking gurney up there. They couldn't get it in the door and out the door safely. So a fireman had to carry me. God, I threw up. It was very painful. And as I got older, it got worse and worse. And then I finally went against all common sense, and I stopped trying to do what they told me to do, which was, oh, you need to exercise and stretch and do all this shit. Well, that was the exact wrong thing, because the stronger my back got, the worse my spasms got. Spasms is an involuntary muscle contraction, and it literally pulls your discs down onto those nerve bundles that come out between each one. It just literally smashes them. That's why people that have a job where they're doing something repetitive with one side of their body getting stronger than the other, those people have problems. Golfers have problems. People that get in and out of their car all the time as a living, taxi drivers, police officers, ambulance drivers, anyone who gets in and out of their car a lot. Now I'm thinking about Amazon delivery drivers. Because you always get up and get out the same way. You never get out of the left side of the truck. You always get up out of your seat the right side. And it doesn't seem like that's a big of a deal until you do it for years. And you involuntarily build up that other side. And then when you do something silly and you strain yourself, that strong part of your back goes, eh. And that's what these quacks, they're quacks, okay, call a subluxation. There's no such thing as your back being out. When they say your back is out, if your back was out, you would be paralyzed. If you look at the structure of your backbone and where the nerve travels down that hole, right? If you look at how it's designed, it cannot move. It's designed to not do that. That's called a broken back. So, yeah, I gave up all that fake shit, you know. I'll tell you what worked for me was very hard-hitting water. That was it. As far as therapy, physical therapy went, was simply just water that was hitting me really, really hard, because I could sit there relaxed for an hour and I would be much better. But then the stronger I got, the worse it got. And I gave up all that shit. I gave it all up. And my muscles in my back started to naturally atrophy because I wasn't as active. And my spasms got easier and easier and easier. And now what I feel is the physical pain of the injury itself. this thoracic one right here. And so now I'm medicated this morning. I'm playing Borderlands. It takes my mind off of the pain. I'm transferring pictures over here from my granddaughter. And I got up out of my computer chair, and that was it. I just stood up. That's all I did, was just stand up. And I have to take an M&M. That's a Motrin and morphine. And then I just relax and I don't do anything stupid for about 90 minutes to 2 hours, and my back will be better. I won't be paralyzed in bed, unable to shit, and almost die of thirst. That was a horrible thing to go through too. My tongue started swelling up and it was burning and cracking. It really hurt bad. My tongue hurt. Oh, it was horrible. Thus, I married the woman who saved me. Put her through a life of misery for saving me, you know what I mean? Being married to me can't be easy. Well, that's not true. That's the part of me that wants to deny there's a really soft side to me, you know what I mean? It's just depressing. I used to panic. When it would happen, I literally would panic. I would literally just go, okay, water, food, phone, pee bucket. I would take a milk jug and cut the top off, set it by my bed, and I would have food there, a loaf of bread. I would literally put food on these 2 coffee tables I had that sat by my bed, because I knew if it happened, I was going to be locked in that bed for 2 weeks. I would have both of my canes, like that one, and I would go to the bathroom and pee, but I couldn't poop because I was so locked up. 10 days. Yeah. So when people say their back hurts and they have a back problem, don't dismiss it because you saw them doing something the other day and you're like, there's nothing wrong with their back, because that is not how it works. Simply not how it works. Now, this thoracic one now has gotten much worse over the last few years. Until now, we just had another MRI done, and I'll find out when I consult with my doctor coming up here. It just hurts all the time. My pain meds don't even touch it. And it's a little, getting old is hard, man. Take care of your body. Take care of your body. You will need it when you get older, okay? The number one thing, okay, I can tell you is watch out for bad diets, drinking, alcohol, that kind of thing. Just smoke pot. Alcohol, bad diet, smoking, vaping, any of that, and I can tell you that 30 years from now, when the world's in a fucking shit heap and it's 10 degrees hotter at the equator than it used to be, and record temperatures are still being set every single year for the next 30 years. Imagine what it would be like to have bad lungs. You don't want bad lungs, okay? Don't smoke, don't vape. If you're a cigarette smoker and you want to quit, because I know you want to quit. I don't know a single cigarette smoker, when telling the truth, wanted to be a smoker. They would say, oh, well, I enjoy a cigarette after dinner. Because no one knows how to lie to themselves like themselves. You need a reason. Mine was my granddaughter. She said, Grandpa, I don't want you to die from cigarettes. That was it. Smoked my last cigarette. I was done. Never went back. Didn't cheat. Yeah, I went through withdrawals. And this is how I handled withdrawals. I do a video on this periodically to help. I pictured when I would get an urge, I would picture it as this hideous looking 2.5 foot tall lawn gnome. He was this monster, and he was yelling at me, smoke, motherfucker. I'm telling you, bitch, light that cigarette right now. That's what I did. I pictured when my urges would happen, I would picture them in my mind as that little nom-nom telling me what to do. Calling me a bitch, you're weak, you can't stop, I own you, I control you. That's what I did. And it only took about 2 weeks of that and I was done. Worked very well, okay? Like aversion training, you know what I mean? Except in reverse. You're gonna need your body when you get older. Back injuries, we just weren't meant to do some of the things that we do now. Evolution hasn't had time to catch up to our modern, uses for our bodies because it is slow. See, right now, I can remember back times when I was so depressed, having to beg, people for shelter and food and shit at times in my life because I just couldn't get a job. You have to lie to people. Do you have any physical condition that might keep you from doing your job? Nope. That's what you have to do. That's why 20 veterans commit suicide every day. Because the VA just simply it was medical malpractice. Intentional medical malpractice. So they didn't have to pay any disability. That is how the system works. That is what the VA is. It's not a fucking medical facility. It's a classification facility. Can we put you in the 10%, the 20%, the 30%? And over time, you get this case history that just builds up where they can't deny that you're fucked up, and so they'll up you 10%. And you go another 8-9 years fighting. It's just horrible. Okay, so something should have been done about mine when I was young and healthy and could have recovered. They put me in a hospital bed. I laid there for 2 days, and a doctor nor a nurse ever came to see me. All I got was food, and I had to ask and ring the bell for that. They were going to do surgery. 2 fucking days. No one ever came and checked on me. My friends came and took me out of the hospital. They didn't even know I was gone. Nuts. Just nuts. The thing is that was some of the hardest shit that I had to deal with, was the inability to provide at times and to be absolutely helpless, unable to move. Knowing that when you went out and got that job, there was no doubt that within, a minimum of 3 times a year, minimum, you were going to be out for a few weeks. At least a few weeks. And there goes the job. They like you and they love your work and everything, but they can't afford to have you out weeks and weeks at a time, constantly on a consistent basis. It's just not going to work. And see, the VA knows that. They have all these weird things where you're only 70%, but you're unemployable. Yeah, fuck you. See, the system is bad. It really is. They know what's wrong with it too, but to fix it, oh man, we would have to, number one, let's get rid of all the completely ineffectual middle management suck-ups that are only there to do a fucking job for the VA and not for the patient. Our advocate over here has never forwarded a single complaint that I had. Not one. Because it was checked on, because I complained higher up. I went over all these motherfuckers' heads. All of them. They have no idea who I'm talking to now. Because I guess maybe, 20, all these veterans committing suicide, and they don't seem to be able to do anything about it. They don't understand, or they do understand, but they don't have a plan for solving that, because solving that problem would mean changing the VA. Not going to war. Not fucking people up. Okay? Not having a person, when you go in the military, you no longer have any rights whatsoever. You are property. The Constitution no longer applies to you other than your oath. No, you're not. Military code of conduct says you're not supposed to, perform an illegal command and shit. Yeah, you try that. See what kind of ostracization you get. I went through it because I had no awe of rank. I'd flat tell those fuckers, why are you letting this drunk alcoholic guy be the head of 10 guys that are completely fucking ineffective? And you're doing it this way when it's wrong. And when I would do it the right way, they'd go, oh, well, that's too much fucking work and effort. And I'm like, well, what am I here for if not work and effort? You want to put 5 rivets in here because it's faster, but it's not stronger than 8 smaller rivets done well to remove stress in areas, okay? And I was always for that. A little bit extra work and effort and having something designed better that wasn't going to crack. Nope, just slam some big fucking rivets in there and let's go on. And then I didn't even get credit. I'm like, listen, you got a fucking press over here. Look at all those sheets of aluminum that aren't being used. You got a press over here. You can make your own ladders that would never break because you're going to make them out of 2024 instead of 7076, and they're going to be softer and more malleable, and they're not going to be cracking on you all the time. The stop drilling would actually be effective if you did form a crack. Never got credit for any of that. The toolboxes. I was the one that told them, listen, you're having a FOD problem because of all these tools are just thrown in a fucking box. You need to put foam mats in all the areas and then cut out the shape of the tool, put it in there so when that toolbox gets checked back into tool issue and it's opened up, that you can see visually instantly what is missing and you don't have to spend 30 fucking minutes doing an accounting of what's in the box. Because this guy was just out on the flight line. You need to assure that all of the fucking tools he checked out, none of them were left out there. And that's how they did it. It was fucking stupid. Never got credit for that. They remind me of Con Am, you know what I mean? I showed them how to save $20 million a year. What they do, they laid me off the next day, stole my idea, called a patent attorney, and then leased it to Z-Tech, their competitor, for $20 million a year. This is my therapy session today. Can you tell? I'm just wanking. I just needed to get it off my chest. When I'm in pain, it's better to think about other things than the pain itself. It's a negative equation, you know what I mean? -1 plus -2 equals -3, man. It's definitely one of those days. Okay. I do feel better. Thank you very much for listening. Probably I know most of you just hung up and didn't want to listen. That's okay. That's what the universe is for, okay? This gets turned into electromagnetic radiation. It's broadcast. By the time it gets over to my server over there, it's already on its way out through the universe. 20 veterans a day. We could do something about that. Injuries like mine that prevent you from having a life because they refuse to fucking help you, because if they help you, then they admit that they fucked you up and now they have to pay you. It's the wolf watching the fucking hen house. That is why 20 veterans commit suicide every day. They can no longer ask family members for handouts. You know what I'm saying? They can no longer lie to employers over and over and over again. And plus some of the bad things they've seen or experienced in the military, and understanding that they were just a piece of fucking property, they can't take it and they decide that there's an alternate solution. If you're a veteran out there, man, and you're thinking about that, talk to someone, especially your friends. They love you and they want to talk to you, okay? And there's professionals that can help you. And believe it or not, there are some organizations out there that can help you with the VA. There are, and they're willing to help you. They're wanting to help you, okay? So go that route. Go there, start it, and then you have to fight like hell, like the rest of us. That's just how it is, okay? Don, the guy who helped me with my case, he's gone now. I forget where he went. I think he went to a VA in Washington. That guy worked his ass off for everybody. This new fucking clown, he doesn't do anything. He just sits in his fucking desk and says he's represents us. He's bullshit. He works for them. It's so obviously, it's painfully fucking obvious. Especially the complaints, the legitimate complaints that I filed. Like having a physical therapist lie and say I missed my appointment when he never showed up. Shit like that. I complain. No, that stops right there at his desk. I don't think I need to mention any names because any veteran that lives up here in Northern California knows who that is. It really hurts because I can't remember Don's last name. I'm gonna have to look it up. He was the man. He was literally spent half his time down at the VA hospital down in Sacramento and McClellan and Martinez, making sure that veterans were getting what they were supposed to get. I mean, the guy was active, and without him, my case would have not moved forward another day. I basically owe him my life. So when people say they have a bad back, you have to understand mechanically how it works. Sometimes people are not in spasm. And then again, there are those days, okay? My big thing, I would like to see them address this problem of veterans being driven into the ground by the system when they rightfully should be taken care of and be given disability. They're ground into fucking hopelessness by a system designed to do that.